because people won't do the right thing by wearing the mask, staying home, getting the vaccine. Kind of feels to me like I'm being trapped in a situation that I have no control over.
Yeah. For many, getting the COVID vaccine is the first step toward living a more normal life again. But for the millions of Americans who are immunocompromised, it's not that simple.
We spoke with two women who are about what life is like, and what they say the answer is to feeling safe again.
My kids can't go anywhere. My husband can't. So we're all kind of stuck in the house.
For more than a year, Megan Zickes has been living with the fact she's at a greater risk of becoming seriously ill or even dying from COVID.
I have a really rare condition. There's less than probably 300 to 500 of us worldwide. It's called necrotizing autoimmune myopathy.
The Grand Valley State professor is part of roughly 3% of the adult population that is immunocompromised.
So right now I'm taking 2 times the dose of an organ transplant person. So I can't be exposed to anything.
Zickes was diagnosed after having her third child, when she says her body just started to attack her own muscles.
There's no cure. They usually treat it by shutting the immune system down, either the entire immune system or just parts of it. And then that just suppresses all of the immune response that your body makes to affect the killing off of your muscles.
And that treatment has Zickes on high alert, still staying at home and away from others, even after getting both doses of a COVID vaccine.
I already feel like I missed out on a decade of my life with this illness, and now I'm missing out because of a pandemic.
Mimi Emming knows the struggle.
I have damaged lungs. And I'm prone to multiple unusual pneumonias.
Along with Zickes and millions of Americans, the retired infectious disease doctor is also immunocompromised. She explains why they still need to be extra vigilant despite being vaccinated.
Yes, they've been vaccinated, but they still have to be extraordinarily careful after receiving the vaccine because their immune system may not produce the same level of protection that other people do.
Emming says there are several reasons why people can be immunocompromised, either by the medications they're taking, like immune suppressants or high-dose steroids, having an autoimmune condition, cancer, or undergoing chemotherapy. Others are born with diseases or develop a condition where the immune system is weaker. Keeping them safe, Emming says, will require community immunity, more people being vaccinated to outpace the number of cases in Michigan.
Vaccine to nearly everybody in a community, you make it that those whose immune systems are weaker get protected because there's not enough people who remain susceptible for the virus to be able to spread from person to person. Eventually, it'll help protect people like me or somebody who is getting cancer chemotherapy, etc. But even more importantly, we're going to bring down the total number of cases. We're going to bring down the load on the hospitals.
Emming and Zickes will continue to make sacrifices to stay safe in the meantime.
I have not been seeing friends in person for a year because I can't risk it.
With the hope that more people will make the choice to get the shot, not only to protect themselves, but others as well.
I don't know that people always realize whose lives they're really protecting by getting the vaccine and wearing the mask. And you know, it's definitely people that are in your own community. And I just think if more people realized how many of us are out there that are literally stuck at home, it might make a difference in their approach to some things.
Those who are immunocompromised are recommended to get the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine. Right now in Michigan, 51% of the population eligible for the vaccine is considered to be fully vaccinated.